Hi guys, this is my final wine presentation, and I decided to use Barolo. So some overview and history of the grape variety, or as also known as a style and region, and why I decided to choose Barolo. So first things first, I decided to choose Barolo based off of Carmelo Anthony's YouTube channel. I'm a big basketball and sports fan, and he does a thing on YouTube called Wine Wednesdays, and one of his favorite wines is Barolo wine. Therefore, I had interest in it and wanted to take a deep dive into it. So a little history about this grape. It's produced using the Nebbiolo grape in the Piedmont region of northwest Italy. Barolo wine has a rich taste and an even richer history. The wine origin dates back to at least 2,500 years. It's a very long time where its first growing structures really appeared. Throughout its history, the wine has gone under immense changes through its production. In the 1980s, traditionalists and modernists fought over the use of oak for Barolo, the aging process and winemaking production of the red wine, and what soon became known as the Barolo Wars. Now, many wine producers have settled on a compromise by combining traditional practices with more advanced practices, and therefore Barolo is still a firm favorite among wine drinkers worldwide. And in fact, Barolo is so popular that about 18% of Italian households choose to pair the wine with a very special occasion. As I stated earlier, the grape scientific information or common name, grape pedigree, and similar grapes for Barolo, it is named Nebbiolo, an Italian red wine grape variety associated with the native Piedmont region of northwest Italy. Nebbiolo is thought to derive its name from Italian nebbia, or Piedmontese nebbia, meaning fog. During harvest, which generally takes place in late October, a deep, intense fog sets into the Lahan region, where many Nebbiolo grape vineyards are located, and therefore Barolo is produced. Diving into the geographic locations of where the grape is commonly grown and what name is commonly used for marketing of Barolo. The name, simple, Barolo. Barolo zone is located about 1.9 miles southwest of the Barbariso zone, with only the vineyards of Diano and Diabla, with Tollecino between the two Nebbiolo strongholds. The harvest for this late ripening Nebbiolo grape usually takes place in early to mid-October through some producers experimenting with viticulture techniques that allow earlier harvest in late September. To talk about those three main zones, to the west of the Tell'Auver di Anzitata is Comune of Barolo and Lamora. To the east of Tellora di Consigliore is Comune of Cenutilonja di Abla, located one of the highest hilltops in the Barolo zone, separated by the narrow valley to the west, with Comune Monteforte di Alba, located in the Monteforte hills. So does the wine have a designated wine day, or therefore known as Barolo Wine Day? It does not, which is kind of cool, which means you can kind of drink it at any time. I mean, no fault. Moving on, so highly rated popular wines of Barolo and for the style of the price points of this type of wine. The wine itself has 11 communes that consistently produce the top rated Barolo wines. Top 5 are Barolo, Lamora, Monteforte di Aula, which mentioned earlier, Sanguccia di Aula, and the Castifado Falato region. Price points for the top 5 Barolos are up there, to say the least. You have a price of 2010 Giacomo listed at about $1,700, 1990 Giuseppe about $900 plus. Price of a 1989 Falatino goes for about $1,850, and the price of 2000 Giuseppe goes for about $795, and a more recent 2014 Falato goes for about $415. Pretty pricey to say the least. So what does Barolo taste like? On the palate, I would say it's elegant and measured. Do not expect a big fruity component to the wine, or a more acidic taste, but rather an earthy with tannins that give structure and presence to its fruit that is really delicious, and it tastes more of like a licorice and coffee and more earthy tones compared to a big fruit bomb. And lastly, for you guys, I'm going to dive into how the wine interacts with sweet, salty, acidic, oily, or spicy foods, and suggested food pairings based off Barolo wine. So this dry, full-bodied, heavily tannic Barolo wines are best paired with protein dishes like beef and veal to really blind the tannins and avoid soft foods like fish that the wine overwhelms the food and kind of just messes up your palate, and because it's such intense flavor of Barolo. Barolo also pairs well with white truffle. And always a tip for Barolo wine: serving your wine, let it rest in a decanter to open up all the tannins. So that's my presentation on Barolo. I hope you guys enjoy it in this undisclosed location, and thank you.